Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky, 1840–1893. Tchaikovsky was the most famous Russian composer. He was born in a small town, Votkins, in Russia, where his father was a mining inspector. When he was 10, his family moved to St. Petersburg. Here, Tchaikovsky studied at the School of Jurisprudence. After graduating at the age of 19, he became a government clerk. He began to study music at the relatively late age of 21, when he entered the newly established St. Petersburg Conservatory. After graduating, he became professor of harmony at the Moscow Conservatory. He held this position for 12 years. In 1877, Tchaikovsky took the disastrous step of marrying a 28-year-old conservatory student who adored him and his music. This marriage seems to have taken place only to conceal Tchaikovsky's homosexuality. 2 weeks after his marriage, he walked into the icy Moscow River, intending to commit suicide, but instead almost got pneumonia. He didn't actually get pneumonia, but instead he had a nervous breakdown that put him into a coma for 2 days. He separated from his wife and never saw her again. In 1877, Tchaikovsky acquired a benefactress, Nadezhda von Meck, a very rich, 46-year-old widow with 11 children. Madame von Meck passionately loved Tchaikovsky's music. She gave him an annuity that allowed him to quit his conservatory position and devote himself entirely to composition. For 14 years they corresponded, but agreed never to meet. Tchaikovsky composed furiously. During these years, he also greatly increased conducting his own works, achieving success throughout Europe. In 1891, he was invited to the United States, where he participated in 4 concerts for the inauguration of Carnegie Hall in New York, and 2 concerts of his music in Baltimore and Philadelphia. On October 28, 1893, Tchaikovsky conducted the premiere of his last great work, Symphony No. 6, Pathetic, which ends unconventionally with a slow, despairing finale. 9 days later, he died at the age of 53. Tchaikovsky always passionately loved the Russian element in all its manifestations. He thought of himself as Russian in the fullest sense of the word. He loved Russian folk songs, but his style also contains elements of French, Italian, and German music. He fused national and international elements to produce intensely subjective and passionate music. Much of Tchaikovsky's music is melancholic, containing beautiful melodies. He was a prolific Russian composer, known to many as the composer of the ballet The Nutcracker, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, Concert Overture Fantasy, Romeo and Juliet, and 8 operas. Now I would like you to listen to the Nutcracker, not the whole ballet, but just short excerpt. Romantic composers were inspired by Shakespeare's plays because of their passionate poetry, dramatic contrasts, and his profound knowledge of the human heart. Tchaikovsky composed Romeo and Juliet at the age of 29, near the beginning of his career. Romeo and Juliet is a concert overture consisting of a slow introduction followed by a fast movement in sonata form.